Ignite, sparked by BBB, where conversations are taking place to change the future.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in today and wanting to be a part of this conversation. We have 4 amazing experts with us today, so we're going to do like we usually do. We'll go through the format. So, Josh. Awesome. So we are going to do, instead of a 15-minute facilitated conversation, we're going to do 10 minutes this morning. And we're going to go through the questions fairly quickly. 60 seconds to respond to each question. It's not because I want to be rude. I actually want to hear everything that you have to say, but because we want to make sure that we get through everybody that's responding or wants to respond. Everyone's going to have 60 seconds. Once your 60 seconds are up, you're going to hear this song. 60 seconds. Everyone likes that a lot more than the buzzer, and I have to agree. Josh will continue playing the song if you go past the 60 seconds, and then Olga will very kindly take the mic from you.
Yeah.
Make sure to keep the mic close to your mouth, so that way everybody can hear you. We do have this speaker here that helps a little bit, but if you're holding it down here, it still doesn't project your voice that much. All right, and use your outside voice. That's mostly for me, because I'm very soft-spoken, so I'm going to try and use my outside voice. And then more importantly, just have fun and enjoy the conversation. All right? All right, session 1, our expert is going to be Sorana Blackfoot, and we are going to be covering financial literacy for entrepreneurs. All right? So what are the key financial habits that separate financial sustainable businesses from those that struggle, and how can entrepreneurs implement them? I know how to turn the on button on that one.
Who wanna be the first?
I'll jump. It's easy.
Yeah.
6 months working capital.
Is it on?
Okay, press button. 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing.
Crystal's right next to you, you're lucky.
Here it is. On. Testing.
Oh, perfect, there we go. Well, it wouldn't be a great start to the day if we didn't have one technical difficulty, so.
Bonsoir, buenos dias. So best thing is starting off, and I work mostly with restaurants, and so many fail first year, and it's because they don't have working capital. Things happen, employment issues, supply issues, and going into supply issues we're gonna have, it's coming, it's gonna be big. I say in 6 months working capital.
Next.
Hi, I'm Marisa. My husband is a small business owner, and I think one of the things that have allowed him to stay financially sustainable is keeping up his marketing spend with trends and being current. Like he's going from old platforms to, like, for example, social media, Facebook pages, that kind of thing. So that's what one of the things I would say.
Going into business, I think the having a budget, having a realistic budget, like, be accountable for every dollar spent, and realize that if you spend $1, you have to make $5. You gotta understand gross and net, which a lot of people don't understand 10 years into business. And don't try to keep up with the Joneses just because you have a business and you're working so hard. Don't think you got to get that Yukon Denali, because you don't on the beginning. But cash is king, and just run it like a real business, like you would do your family, and balance the budget, and don't do like DC does. Do the opposite. You'll be in good shape. Yeah. I did. We always work with it.
How you doing? My name is Norman Cohen. Taxes for me. If you don't put the right amount of taxes away, you might be making a lot of money. And you don't put that away, you're going to get hit. The IRS is going to get theirs. So that's one thing I've learned. Yeah.
Um, it's more on keeping our overheads low and trying, like I said, try not to keep it with the Joneses. And the book, we always make sure that we put everything in the book so that we can compare from months to months and then year to year.
Thank you.
All right.
Exposure of your business. You can have a great product, but if people don't know about it, it won't be successful.
How can business owners develop a budgeting strategy that is both flexible and resilient in the face of economic uncertainty?
Oh, sure. Someone figured out I'm a chatterbug. So I think this is kind of my situation right now. I am in education services business. A lot of my partner programs are funded by government grants or donors. I think being cautiously optimistic, preparing for what could happen, and being okay with that. Like this, hey, we might have the rug completely pulled out from under us. What is our plan B? Because if you can't be on a level 10 anxiety all the time. But yeah, we are really trying to look and grow and talk about exposure so that we can not just fit in one niche, but kind of expand into others so we can continue doing what we're doing. But we do know there's so much uncertainty right now.
So I believe part of the things, as you alluded to, part of your revenue stream is grants. And so understanding your revenue stream and your customers and how they're impacted, and then you lay that into your initial budget. And as you see things either coming through or untrue, favorably or unfavorably, that's where you have mitigation plans to say, how am I going to adjust? And the bigger thing is, for me, is understanding a need from a want. What do I need to run the business, take care of my people, and then trying to find those things, because the people, if you put your people first, the rest of the business can generally come. But if you go so far and you just look strictly at your numbers, that's where you see the business pull back and play off.
You almost got this figured out. You're doing great, Olga.
Like Captain America, we can go all day. But yeah, everything everybody's been saying is right on. And the marketing, super important at this day and age to get the word out. So yeah, I agree. And there's so many formats. So yeah, having somebody in your accounting, backyard to reach out to, having somebody in your marketing backyard to reach out to, huge hubs. But planning is king. Books, definitely king. Don't overspend. Plan.
Here you go, Mike.
Look at what your community can do. If you are doing business in a lower income area, you're not going to be able to have the same price as a higher income. So be aware of what that community is able to do for you.
Okay, so one of the things in the face of economic uncertainty that I think is important is to be aware of any diversification opportunities that your business has. So, for example, my husband's an architect, and when times are bad economically, he'll design a garage for you. So that's not his main area of design. But I think just having a good plan for diversification in the event that you need to have that, aside from your main focus.
So as an outspoken person, just listen to what I say, don't get offended, please. It's sometimes difficult, but so our community right here, and again, I'm not from the South and I don't understand it completely, but we have women groups We have women award shows. I've been very vocal on LinkedIn recently. We give everybody an award. I'm a woman, you're a woman, you vote for me, I vote for you. We get a plaque. At the time of your life, those plaques get thrown away. I just did it. Downsizing, there's no reason to keep them anymore. They actually mean nothing. It doesn't define me. And now Debbie Johnson does hospice. And I ask her how many people bring the plaques to the hospice bed. And of course, the answer is 0. Nobody dies with the plaque. Then there's the black groups, the black chambers, the black this, and then all these other subsections of a community. Going back to this question, the business is in 100% of all of us as human beings, not segregated and diversified. We should all want to do business with each other and get to know each other and understand. And of course, that's what you. If you'd like to know more, you can see me later, because this is a big conversation. I don't want to piss anybody off, but just hear what I'm saying. And the Latino group, we want to do business with everybody also. Stop segregating. It's never going to get fixed.
For us, it's partnerships. We are in the entertainment business, so we run a photo booth company, photography company. So we partner with DJs and other photographers because they can resell us and we can resell them. So for us, it was, especially when everything kind of went away a couple of years ago, our business died until we reignited ourselves and started bringing out partnerships, and that just kind of elevated us to the next level.
I like that play on words there. You reignited yourself.
That's right.
What particular steps can entrepreneurs take to improve cash flow management and ensure financial stability without relying on debt?
I think, so this is the second startup that I'm at. This just happens to be mine. The first startup that I was at, I was observed a lot of investing, a lot of borrowing, and when I did my business, I didn't want to do that. So I bootstrapped with the COVID money that we all received to start my business, and I just being cognizant of when you have debt, somebody else has control of you in decision making, and whatever your mission is, it kind of changes it. So we really just try to stick to our book, like what we have allotted. My sisters are really tight with the money, so it's good for me. And I think talking about the bartering, right? Like if you expose me at your event, and I can do that. The same, it's the same as investing marketing money. So I always look at that like somebody else's time, and my time is marketing money. I'm getting out there opportunities. So I look at what can I do for free in trading to keep myself from going in debt, and just stick to the money. Got it.
Hello, my name's Josie. So I'm not an entrepreneur, but what I can tell you is the partnership is key for my business, which is not really a business, it's a nonprofit. But we look at our community partners thoughtfully. Are you a coffee shop owner who gets behind my mission? If so, maybe you'll do an event for us. Maybe you'll donate to something that we have. So keeping those partnerships at the forefront of our minds is absolutely critical. We also budget, of course, a year in advance, 2 years in advance, 3 years in advance, and we sometimes fall into the trap of, oh, we've got that money. Well, we might not actually have that money. We think we're going to have that money, but until we do have it in our hot little hands, we're very cautious with how we spend.
A lot of entrepreneurs are passionate about what they're doing. They don't necessarily good with keeping track of money, so maybe they should have a partner that does the bookkeeping, another partner that does the social media. So so you can focus on what you're good at and have someone else focus on what they're good at, like the cash flow and ensuring you're still financially stable.
In other words, have the right team
around you.
So I come from a family of business owners, and my mom's always like, Evie, you're the idea factory, but you never think about where the money's gonna come from. And then there's I call her my other half, because she basically is, my sister's my best friend, and she's like, Evie, you need to sit down and build a budgeting plan. And I was like, you're right, why don't you do it?
Do we have more questions?
We do. We have 2 more questions. How does financial transparency and ethical money management contribute to building long-term trust with customers, employees, and stakeholders? Bonus point for anyone that says BBB in their response.
I think we actually interviewed somebody who's not sure they're gonna work with us, but they're like, oh, I really wish all companies were as transparent as you are. I mean, you don't want to give away the books and show everybody all your numbers, but really trying to be clear about this is where we are putting our money, and this is why we can only pay you this much in hours because, this is part of our mission, things like that. We try to be very clear so that people don't think we're being sneaky. I was at a company where people felt like they were being sneaky, and it really destroyed employee confidence in the leadership. So I think that's super important. And also when people are coming to us, just like you said, being honest, I think people are more likely to support you when they feel like you are being an honest company. So I think that's important.
I think one of the things that's somewhat difficult when you're a small business is to provide this kind of information, but one of the things that I think is very helpful is to get testimonials and reviews and all of that from your customers. So when you're working or preparing to work with someone else, you have that ready. My husband I started doing that for him. Reaching out to his clients after the job was completed and just asking them to put, if they would write a review or something like that, recommendation. And he's been able to, provide those along with his contract to potential clients. So it's kind of a fringe of this, but he is bad about asking. He doesn't even, I say, oh, how'd they find you? Oh, I don't know. So just like getting that information. So now that I'm retired, I'm doing that.
It's lucky to have you.
I know, thank you.
One thing we did, started in 22 here, and you can ask the staff later on. We had a culture that we did not share, and if I'm right or wrong, you guys can tell me. We did not share our financial, where we were, what we did. And so there was a lot of rumors when I started, and I came out of a car dealership that the dealer gave the financial statements to all the managers because he treated them like partners. And then I bought the Honda store with a guy that was a total thief, and hence I'm down here again. The partnership didn't work because he was a liar about everything. And so he didn't want to share any financials. So what I did here is we do share the financials. And on the other side of it, we're a nonprofit, so we have what's called a 990. Everybody can look at our records. It's public information. And so I'm going to throw this pitch out for give.org. We'll be here next week. And if you give any money, or if you are a nonprofit, you want to be here, because that's where some of the truths, some really bad truths come out when these people don't follow their 990s and or do the bookkeeping the right way, and their expenses are way out of line. So there you go, Jeff.
If you want to come to the give.org event, it's on March 25th, and you can just email me.
So to springboard off of your comment about the reviews, she runs the photo booth company, by the way. I run a travel agency, and we just did a big group, and that's huge for me because after that big group came back, out of 70 people, we got 35 reviews just like that.
Oh, nice.
And off of that, I got another job for 500. So the reviews are very, very important. I know when we started that side of the company, I wasn't too keen on, we'll get the next customer from the next job and don't really care about reviews. But once I started pushing the reviews on that side, the jobs started coming in. The DJs started noticing us. They started talking to us. So the reviews are very important to your business from a marketing aspect of it. It does it by itself, especially when they do Photo Booth Richmond or Cohen Tours plug in for what. And that gives us a leg up on stuff like that. So it does help.
Good review comes with a good customer service. So every job that we do, we make sure that we follow our, policy, with our attendant. No, don't use the phone while you're working. When you get a break, then you can. During that time, I know there will be idle time, or we call it just a break. You can't use your phone during the time because you're still on the clock and people are still watching you. So as far as we know, we have a pristine review, and we would like to keep it that way because it's very, very important. That's why every time we talk to the customer, look at our reviews. Look what all testimony is very, very good. So if you want to have a good review, you really need to have a good customer service.
So we're gonna skip the last question to make sure we give Sorana her entire 25 minutes. All right, you can go ahead and take that down. All right, Sorana, I'm gonna pass the mic over to you. Everyone, welcome Sorana Blackfoot.
So I brought everybody a little present because we're talking about literacy. So I just brought some bookmarks. Don't feel obligated to take one, but hopefully you do take one, and hopefully you put it to good use. So thank you everybody for coming. My name is Sorana Blackfoot, and I'm a prosperity mentor. And why am I here, and why am I talking about this? Well, I was born and raised in a different country. I'm originally from Romania, and I learned how money works in Romania. And then I came here, and I had to learn a whole new system, and I had to figure out what in the world is a credit card and how does that work, and why in the world do you file taxes? What is that? And why you have to do it? Because, hey, they're taking taxes off my paycheck anyway, so why do I have to do paperwork about it? So all of those things I had to learn, and then I started talking to the people that I met, and I'll say, hey, do you know this? And they'll say, no, I had no idea. So that was in the beginning a shock, and then I learned that even though people were born and raised here, they didn't know this stuff that I didn't know. My excuse was, well, I was not here until a few years ago. Their excuse was, well, we don't know what their excuse was. But any excuse is a good excuse if you don't want to do something, right? So I'm here today to talk to you about money because while I was learning all of these interesting things, I also learned to love money, which I did growing up because I love getting it, so hey, the money was my best friend. But also here I had to figure out how to get money to come to me because it was different. As a kid, somebody like me, oh, here's a present, I don't know what to buy you, here's some money. But as an adult, nobody comes and says, hey, I like you, here's some money. That would be nice, but it doesn't work out. People want you to do something before they pay you. So I had to figure out how do I get more money and how do I keep more money, right? It's not just about making more money, but it's also about keeping more of the money that you make. So today I am in the financial industry and I do everything from teaching people how money works, teaching people how to love money and have a relationship with it. And by the way, if you don't think you have one, think again, because you do have a relationship, love, hate, or otherwise, but you do have a relationship with your money. And also I do taxes and I help people with life insurance and retirement where they don't lose any of the money that they put in the retirement account. Again, I realize it's important not just to make that money, but also to hold on to it and make sure it goes to whoever you want it to go to. All right, don't let the judge decide who your money goes to. So I was asked today to talk to you about why it's important to know all of these things. And before I start talking about that, I have a question for everybody. Who's excited to talk about money? Right? And I know some of you lie about other things too, so it's okay. I don't take offense. So, I am excited to talk to you about money, and I want to talk to you about why we need to know these things. How many of you have employees or have people that work for you? Maybe you're in a managerial role or something like that. Okay, so for those of you that work with other people, you probably already know that financial literacy is important for your people because then they don't have to worry about it. If they know what's happening with their money, if they know what debt they have or don't have, if they know how much money they have or don't have, they can come to work and focus on doing whatever it is that they need to be doing, so it makes it easier for you to manage them, supervise them, have them work for you, whatever the case may be, right? Okay, but have you thought about the fact that when people know about money and understand their benefits and how money works for them, you can also, as the employer or as the manager, negotiate better benefits for them, right? The more people participate, it's like buying in bulk, right? If you go to Walmart, you pay one price, which I know is already low, but if you go to Sam's Club, you pay less because you buy more. So the benefits work the same way. If you have more people participate, you can negotiate the rates, right? Why do big corporations offer better rates on medical insurance or other benefits? Well, because they have more people, right? So as a small company, if you can get more people to buy into whatever it is you're offering, you can offer better. You may not compete with the Amazons or the Google of the world, but you can still offer better benefits than if you only have one person or two people participate. So keep that in mind. And the number 3 reason is that if people get better benefits, if people get more focus on their business and can enjoy what it is they're doing, then they stay. So you have less turnover. So speaking about how you keep your budget and how you maintain your spendings low and all that, well, less turnover. How much does it take to train a good employee to do whatever it is you need them to do? Right? That's a cost for your business. You may not think because you think in time, you think, well, it takes me 2 years or 6 months or whatever, depending on the complexity of the job, but it's also the money. Because now you have to spend time doing the things so the person can see and explaining at the same time. And then you have to have them do it, and they take longer, which is okay for a while, but if you have to keep doing that every year or every so many months, at some point it starts hitting you in the budget, right? All right, now, if you are an employee or if you work for yourself, why do you need to learn all of these things about money? Do you guys know what the number 1 reason for divorce is? Exactly. So the more you know about money, the better your relationship can be because you don't have to fight about it. And if you didn't know this, an interesting statistic is that opposites attract. So most of us are either spenders or savers, and usually our partner is whatever we're not. Okay, so if you have challenges talking about money with your significant other, that's one of the reasons. Okay? Maybe not the only one, but it is one of them. So find the happy medium, but make sure you both understand what's going on with your finances, because that will help the conversation flow. Now, also, when you know better, you can do better, like Maya Angelou said, right? So if you understand how money works, you can have better things in place for your family. You can have better life insurance, you can have more money into your retirement account. You can also pay less taxes. And by the way, if you don't talk to a financial professional, if you do your own taxes, congratulations, but talk to a tax planner because they can teach you how to pay less next year. So have that conversation. And last but not least, why it's important because to know all of this money stuff, because then you can focus on other things and enjoy life. Right? So if you don't have to think about how I'm paying my bills, how I'm going to get out of debt, how I'm going to do this, that, or the other about my money, or, oh my God, this is tax season, so I have to do my taxes. If you don't have to worry about those things, now you can do more fun things. You can enjoy your family, you can enjoy your life, and being less stressed, you probably have better health too. So all of those things revolve around money. And there's a saying you maybe heard that money doesn't buy you happiness. A friend of mine always said, but it makes it more affordable. So there's truth to that. What I would like to add also is that the more money you have, you can be more happy, not because you spend the money to buy that happiness, but because money can ensure you have other things that you don't have to worry about, and then you can be happy. Okay, so it does in a way buy your happiness, but not directly. So, and I think whoever said that really didn't have any money and they were trying to just make themselves feel better. So that's my theory on that. So now we were talking about budgeting, and I have some budgeting tips for you. So if you are an entrepreneur, or if you are in a position where maybe you don't have a steady paycheck every week or every month or every other week, here are a couple of things to keep in mind. And for those of you that have a steady paycheck, this works too. But for those of you that don't have a steady paycheck, this works better, because you may be confused when people tell you, every paycheck put aside $100, and you're like, well, but some paychecks don't have $100 because I didn't do that good that week, right? So here are some budgeting tips. Number one, whatever you do with your budgeting, make it sustainable. Okay, if it's something you just do for 30 days, it doesn't last. What happens on day 31? You catch up on all the things you didn't do, or you stop doing all those things that you did that you really hated doing. So you want to make sure that whatever you're doing is sustainable. Make changes if you don't like where you're going or where you are, but don't make radical changes because you won't be able to sustain it. Like a diet, right? People say, hey, if you take this diet in 30 days, you're going to lose 50 pounds. Okay, but what happens on day 31? Okay, don't do anything that's going to be so radical that you can't maintain. Now, I will say a little painful thing you have to do is track. Track where your money is going. But set a time limit. Do it for a month, maybe 2 months. You want to see your habits, you want to see your money leaks, but you don't want to do it forever. And I can tell you that unless you're that person that always has done it, you won't be able to sustain that. I teach that and I still can't do it, but it's not my thing, so I'm not trying to make myself do it because I know I won't do it. So be honest with yourself, and if you know that's not something you can sustain, don't make that a rule. But do it for a period of time, and when you have a deadline, that makes it easier to do. Okay, so just do it for a month or two so you can learn your habits. You can see where your money leaks are. Some of us like buying a lot of shoes, some of us like eating out, some of us like spending money on games or music or things like that. Figure out what your leak is and then control that. Decide, okay, I want to spend only this much. Don't try to quit cold turkey, right? Those of you that ever smoke know that's not really a good way and not really something that's doable for most people. So whatever your money leak is, don't try to cold turkey stop it. Try to just minimize it. Come up with whatever it is that you want to do and then work down from there if you choose to, or put a stop at that level, whatever works for you. But also, if it's something you enjoy, don't stop it, because then what's the point in making this money? You still want to enjoy it. Okay, now, when you're tracking stuff and you're figuring out where your money is going for your expenses, there are 3 categories where you're putting your money, where you're spending your money. Number 1 is fixed. These are what they are. We all pay the same rent or the same mortgage. We all pay the same homeowners insurance or the same homeowners association if you have one of those. Whatever fixed expenses you have, it is what it is. Now, one tip about those fixed expenses is that you can negotiate them. Okay? You can refinance, you can move to a different place to pay a different amount of rent, you can change stuff. Now, it may not be something you want to do, but if you need to do it, you can change it. Once it's negotiated, that's pretty much it. Number 2 is your flexible expenses. These are things that can vary from month to month and you have somewhat control of. Right? We have to drive places, because in Virginia you can't really make it too far on foot. So we spend money on gas, but we control how much gas we spend money on, right? Because we can drive less, we can, when we have an appointment, we can say, hey, can we meet online? Or can we talk on the phone, or whatever. So we have some control over that. We also have control of things like the electric bill, gas bill if you have gas heating in the house, or other things like the cell phone plan and things like that. All of those are flexible. Now, the cell phone plan becomes a fixed spending once you figure it out what it is, and you can lock it in. But it can be flexible because you may spend more money one month, less money the next. But certain things you can control. And then the third type of spending is discretional. And this is the fun money. We all want fun money, but also this is the category that we can control the best. So this is something you want to keep track of, and this is something you may want to lower if possible, if you're trying to put more money aside. And when you make all of these fabulous plans on how your money is going to leave you, also make plans for the money to stay. It's called pay yourself first, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with the principle. Now, the gurus will tell you do 10% or more. And I will tell you, especially as an entrepreneur, sometimes that 10% is not happening. So start with something that's not painful for you. Because if it's painful, you're not going to do it next time. So if not painful means 10 bucks, then start with 10 bucks. If not painful means 100 bucks, start with 100 bucks. After you do that for a couple of times, and whenever you take a look at where that money sits and you see it grow, it starts looking so pretty, you want to give it more friends. So you're going to be able to increase that amount, okay? But start with whatever is not painful for you to start the habit. All right, now, what do you do with this pay yourself first money? Or with other money? Maybe you want to save to buy a house or buy a car or go on a nice vacation, or maybe you have kids that are getting married and you need to pay for a wedding. Whatever big expenses you have that are coming up, we're talking about not going into debt, right? So you know this is coming. Or who likes to give a whole lot of Christmas gifts? Right? Christmas comes every year. There's no way around it. Now we can choose to spend or not to spend money, but Christmas will be here. So if you want to be lavish in your gifts this next Christmas, start saving for it. And how do you save for it? Well, you open an account at a bank where you don't go every day. If you bank in person, go a couple of blocks down, wherever you don't drive by every day. If you bank online, go to another bank so you don't open that account every time you look at your checking account. Because if you don't see it, it will stay there and you won't be tempted to spend it. Okay? And then most importantly, because tough times happen, they come to all of us, open an account that you put your, what people call emergency fund in. I don't like calling it that. I call that my Justin account, just in case. Okay? Don't give your money to any Justin that you know, but put the money in there just in case. Don't call it emergency because you're claiming stuff happening. Don't bring it. Okay? So your Justin account needs to be also at a different bank. It needs to be somewhere where you can get to it, but you don't need to see it every day, because then everything becomes an emergency and you're gonna dip your little fingers in it. So don't put it somewhere where you see it all the time, but put it somewhere where you can reach it should you need it. Now, what do you put in your Justin account? Well, whatever you're comfortable with. Some people want to have 6 months worth of expenses. If that's you, then do 6 months. Some people are comfortable with a round amount, like $10,000 or $100,000, whatever that is. Whatever you feel that will relieve the stress and will make you feel comfortable, that's what needs to be in your Justin account. Okay? And I see this commercial a lot. I want to bring this up. It's for Rocket Money. I don't know if you guys see it, but online, if you watch stuff, it's just... I honestly don't know what the app does, because I know what the commercial says, but I haven't been on the app. But I do realize that a lot of us buy stuff that we pay monthly on or yearly or whatever that we don't really use. So if you want to save some money, if you want to stop a leak, look at what money you're spending on things you're not actually using. And you might know this really famous example that the gyms make the most money in January when people sign up, then they're empty, but they still make the money because people still have to pay, right? So don't do that. Don't give your money to a gym or whatever your gym is that you're not actually using. Now, if it's something you like, I don't judge people for having Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, or all of them together. But if it's something you're not using, get rid of it. If you're using it, enjoy it. Figure out how you make the money to have it, but enjoy it. However, if you're not using it, don't make them rich. Or if you make them rich, also buy stock if they're publicly traded, because then you can make yourself rich in the meantime. Okay? So that's my free investment tip. Whatever it is you like, and as long as you understand how the company works, look into buying stock, because you may be onto something. All right. Any questions?
What those people do when they have too little money to budget, say, ooh.
You start with what you have. So here's a fun fact. Have you figured it out? Have you noticed that whatever money is in your checking account, you figure out a way to spend it? But if it's less money in your checking account, you don't need to spend more than whatever is in your checking account? Funny how things work out. So what happens when you have less money is you treat your money right, and then more money will come to you. Money goes where it's wanted, not where it's needed. So if you stay at home and say, oh God, please give me more money, oh my God, I have this bill, please help me pay the bill. It's not working out. You maybe already figured that out, but it's really not working out. However, if you treat money right, then more money will be given to you because you treat money right. And keep this in mind, the job of a dollar bill is to go find another dollar bill, to find a friend. Now the question you have to ask yourself is, where is your dollar bill going? Is it going somewhere else and hanging out with friends, or is it going somewhere and bringing back friends to you? Right? What's happening with your little Benjamins? Where are they hanging out? Right? So if you like little Benny, encourage little Benny to come back. Okay? So, treat your money right. How do you treat your money right? Well, first of all, none of us can really be positive all the time and, oh my God, I love money, oh my God, I have so much money. Don't lie to yourself. If you don't have so much money, don't say that, because the universe knows you don't have it. So be grateful for what you have. So if you have a little bit of money, you say, okay, I'm very thankful that I have the money to pay this bill. I'm very thankful that money is taking care of me and helping me figure all of this out. And that's okay, because more money will come to you. And if you didn't know this, well, money is energy. You may not know, but it does have feelings. It vibrates, just like we vibrate as human beings. So it's attracted or rejected by whatever you put out there. So if you're like, oh my God, I got paid this week and I gotta pay these bills, darn it, I really don't like this. Well, why would more money want to come hang out with you? Right? If a friend knocks on your door and says, I'm here to see you for 5 minutes because I actually have a meeting down the street, but I really wanted to check in and see how you're doing. What you gonna do? Smack the door in their face and say, hey, I don't want to see you because you only have 5 minutes. Unless you can hang out with me for 2 hours, I don't want to talk to you. Right? You're not gonna say that to your friend. But we say that to money all the time. We say, oh, darn it, I'm only gonna have you for 2 days or for 2 hours because I gotta pay this bill. So why would more money want to come hang out with you if you don't like money to come hang out with you? If you don't make money feel welcome? How many of you don't have to answer, unless you want to fess up, but how many of you take money and like crumble it up and stick it in your pants or in your pocketbook and who knows where, and maybe it's a little bit torn and maybe it gets dirty and oh well, it's okay, it goes to the next person. Why would more money want to come and hang out in your pocketbook or in your pockets? Right? How would you like to be treated like that? Right? So just think about that, because the more you love money, the more money will love you back. I'm going to leave you with that. And I will share that I did publish a book last year called Money Mindset Makeover, which is a 21-day program to have a better relationship with your money. So if you'd like to check it out, it is available on Amazon. Please check it out. And I would love to hear what you guys think if you want to check it out. And that's what I had. Thank you for hearing.
Ignite, sparked by BBB, where conversations are taking place to change the future.